Hello there, I'm Scotty. You're not. Welcome back to Dis-Cember 2023. We are in the home run, the home stretch. That's the thing. We're on the home stretch now. Today we're talking about Eddie's $1,000,000 cook-off. From now on, today, tomorrow, the 30th and the 31st, we'll be just doing one movie a day because I'm slowing down. So we are talking about Eddie's $1,000,000 Cook-Off, which came out all the way back in the year of 2003, which is the same year I started working at my job. That's right, I've been working there 20 years. Haven't mentioned that. By now, I would have gotten my little plaque, so I probably would have done a video with it. So I'm thinking about it. If I haven't, then I decided not to do it. But yeah, so Eddie's $1,000,000 Cook-Off is about this teenager. His name is Eddie, played by Taylor Ball, and he's a baseball player. Plays baseball for his dad. Is his coach. His dad is Mark L. Taylor. He's back for the third and final time, not just for this year, but for the fact that he only did the 3 Disney Channel original movies. This, and Are You the Other Me, and High School Musical 2. And I did them in backwards order. Well, not backwards, in a weird order. I did High School Musical 2, then The Other Me, and then this one. Technically, I already did The Other Me years ago, so I did that twice, so I go, whatever. Eddie is a baseball player, but he secretly likes to cook. For some reason, everybody else in this movie, but the home ec teacher and one of the students, thinks that it's girly and that he shouldn't do it. We're going to address that. But, he enters himself in this secret little cook-off thing, and it causes issues with his friends and his dad, and yeah. So, before I get into the plot at all, let's talk about the big, fat, girly elephant in the room. Everybody and their mother in this movie, except for the cooking teacher and the one student, Bridget, and the mom, all treat home ec and cooking as if it's only for girls and women. Keep in mind that we get a cameo from Bobby Goddamn Flay, who's one of the best cooks out there and who is a straight man, I might add. Yet, everyone in this movie throws out, oh, if you like to cook, you must be girly, or you have to be a woman. They call her, his brothers called him Edwina. It's like, what? Why are they throwing that out there and then showing us Bobby Flay? It's confusing to me. I know the whole message is that do what you want to other people, and then support support people who want to do their own thing, that sort of thing. But it's just very confusing that Disney Channel would have a movie that comes out that is so anti-cooking, like they have to force it down your throat, that no. It's just so you can have this message of acceptance. It goes way too much with it. Like his friends are like, oh, I don't want to do home ec, it's girly. His brothers are calling him Edwina. The dad makes jokes about cooking and how it's for women and girls and stuff. And yeah, it's not, I don't know. It's just too heavy-handed with that, I guess. But so we have our 3 main characters here we have Eddie, played by Taylor Ball. We have Eddie from That's So Raven, played by Orlando Brown. I don't remember the guy's name. And then there's DB, which kind of equals out because I don't remember the actor's name. But DB was also in another Disney Channel original movie called Buffalo Dreams, which I never watched because I wasn't interested. It didn't look anything. All I said was, hey, that's the kid from Eddie's $1,000,000 Cook-Off. That's it. And they're the 3 best friends that anyone could have. And they're the 3 best friends that anyone could have. And no. But they play the baseballs. And everybody on the team sucks except for Eddie. until the final game, and Eddie's not there, and yeah. We have 2 Power Rangers alumni. James Galen is back. That's right, James Galen, who played the Red Ranger's father in Power Rangers RPM, is back. He's in this. He was in another one, and then he also won Homecoming Warrior. He's been in 3, just like Mark L. Taylor. I don't remember the other one he was in though. Then we have Rose McIver, you may know from iZombie, but also Power Rangers RPM. She was the Yellow Ranger. You think there's Power Rangers connections in this one? Watch Wendy Wu Homecoming Warrior. There's like 4 Power Rangers alumni in that movie. James Galen again, a Blue Ranger, a Yellow Ranger, and Lily from Mystic Force. I swear. I don't know. It just... Yeah. They film in New Zealand. James Galen is American, but he basically mostly does productions in New Zealand, which is how he's able to kind of show up for these things. And by the way, the actress who played Bridget couldn't hide her damn accent to save her life. She's going in and out of that thing like it's a freaking... I don't know. She's going in and out of that thing like it's a $2 whore, for like a better term. She's just like, no. Like, you're listening to her and it's just like, she cannot hide her accent at all. No. You know who does hide her accent pretty good? The mom, who's also the mom from Xenon, the sequel, the second one. Yeah. Yes. Now that I've gone through the characters, there's 2 food fights in this movie. And I don't understand why. Like, the first one was enough, but there's 2. There's so much mess. You know, there's so much mess and gooiness and like, yeah. So Eddie, he plays the baseball, but he's lured by cooking. After they go home to celebrate winning the game, he sees the cooking show on TV and gets mesmerized. And while the mom is getting ready to cook the supper, she cuts her finger, and so they have to go to the hospital, leaving Eddie and his 2 friends behind. Eddie, the other Eddie, Eddie DB and the other Eddie. And the brothers go with them for some reason. And instead of putting away the food, like the mom said, Eddie decides to cook it. Okay, so I'm going to ask you people this. Are you supposed to wash the chicken before you cook it? Rinse it off. I mean, don't use soap, but like rinse it off. You're supposed to rinse off your chicken before you cook it. I mean, because I've never done that. I washed my hands. You know, you wash your hands. And they turn the page, wash your hands. No, I've washed my hands, and then I'll cut up the chicken or whatever. It is my assumption that when you cook it, it cooks off all the germs, right? Or am I wrong? And also, I don't see what just rinsing it off, how we would clean it. Just rinsing it off. Maybe get some blood off of it or something, because sometimes there's like little blood puddles in there. I don't know. I've never rinsed off any meat. Potatoes, sure. You gotta do that. But, I don't know. He does that, he makes this special chicken thing, and you do the thing. And I'm gonna quote Freakazoid. You know, it's the thing where from F Troop, where Ruby says, "I'm not gonna wear that dress." Or you're gonna wear a dress. I'm not gonna wear that dress. And it cuts, and he's wearing the dress. Yeah, it's that kind of thing where they come in and they, "Hey, we got pizza." And it's like, "Did you put the food away?" "No, I cooked it." And they show this whole thing. It's like a mashed potato mountain with a bunch of chicken legs over it, and then they use like cereal and stuff. And the brothers are like, "No way, I'm eating that." Snap cut to it's almost empty, and the brothers are fighting over the last piece of chicken. So yeah, they ate it. Yeah, they call you Chef Eddie, which I like that joke. Maybe we should call you Chef Eddie. And there, it's like, it's fine. But then the brothers just start laying into him, right? And then, yeah, and then Eddie signs them up for home ec. And this is the weirdest, like, extracurricular class. Their home ec class is like a trailer outside of the school. What kind of school is this? That their extracurricular activities are in a trailer outside the school? And I don't understand it. And how can this trailer be equipped with all this home cooking equipment? All my classes were in the same building. Well, technically, there was a building across the street, but it was connected. You could go through a tunnel underneath. But I was told you don't cross over because the traffic is, was very heavy. Not heavy, but like there's a lot of it. It wasn't like heavy traffic, like constantly heavy traffic, like a freeway, but it's like, some people did get hit trying to cross the crosswalk. They've had to several times repaint the crosswalk so that the cars can see it as a crosswalk. Of course, I don't like to stop. But, you're talking 20 years now since I've been in high school. Well, not 20 years, because 2006, 17 years. Don't want to think about that. Anyway. So, I don't know what that was. So, they want to go for computer science because they think that they'll just have to play video games. That's how that works. Yeah, I was in computer class, right? And we were allowed to play computer games, but after you got your homework done. It was a typing class. So after you got your work done, the typing class, which I've never been able to do this. And dude, I'm the poking guy. I'm the guy that just pokes out the buttons. I can't hold my hands like that long enough to do that. I'm sorry, I cannot. I wouldn't be able to be a typist. I wouldn't be able to be in a typing pool or anything. I wouldn't be able to do that because I can't. I can't have my fingers like that. Just doing it right now hurts. Because it's not the way it's not the way that I'm used to doing it. So it's just it feels wrong. They try to teach me and I can't do that. Anyway, but Eddie tricks them into signing up for home ec and then says it was an accident, but you can't switch. No, so they're in home ec, and where we have our first food fight, and then later there's another one. I don't know why. And they do a cliche that I never find funny ever. Even as a kid, I'm like, well, that's just messy. Well, why would you do that? Like, the whole thing where they put something in a blender and turn it on and it spurts out, right? A lot of times the gag is, oops, they forgot to put the lid on. But Eddie puts the lid on, hits the button, and it still pops off the lid and hits the ceiling. Like, no. With the gag being, oh, you didn't hold the lid down. You put the lid on there, it should be secure enough so it doesn't do that. But if they didn't do that, it wouldn't have the gag. He's trying to make this original recipe so he can enter it into the contest. Right? So he sets up this peanut butter and jelly it's a peanut butter and jelly smoothie. Then he gets all over himself and the dog, and the brother comes down and just eats whatever he's tried to make. This is after many attempts to make something else fail. And he does this, and when he tries to discuss this, here's the issue I have, is that every time that Eddie tries to move forward with this, someone walks in, or someone who he doesn't want to know walks in, or something stops him. Like, he's talking with Bridget about this, trying to get help, and then DB and other Eddie walk in, and he's like, what's going on? Nothing? No, not nothing. We were talking about the cook-off. No, it wasn't. And he walks off. I'm like, why do we have to have this character? Like, I understand that everybody and their uncle are like, you must be a girl if you like home ec, but like, be free to be yourself. Just don't, He's so afraid, to do this. He does eventually enter the contest. The mom sees this, and he says, well, don't tell Dad. She said, well, I can't lie to your father, even though she does. But, yeah, so he gets entered in the contest, and so does Bridget. But, Bridget, there's a running joke, well, they keep saying her last name wrong. Simmons. She's like, it's Simons. Or, It's Simons or whatever the New Zealand accent, but she tries to sound American. She doesn't, but she tries. Bless her heart, she tries. But anyway, so because of this, they send something to his house. The brothers get it and rip it in half. I think it's an accident, but it's ripped in half. Then the dad tells them to go away, but he got a phone call from the teacher, Miss Hadley, who congratulated them, and he's disappointed in him because baseball has to be his first priority. And this is, early on you realize, oh, this is the one-note father who only cares about one thing, and his son has to be invested in that one thing that he cares about. So, yeah, Mark L. Taylor's playing the one-note dad here. Which I think they did better in High School Musical, because at least the dad in that wasn't his one note. He wanted his son to succeed. Like he wanted his son to play basketball, but eventually accepted it. Right? Accepted the whole thing. And there was sequels, so that kind of added up to character development here. Here, it's very last minute, right? He chooses to accept his son's to accept his son's, love for cooking. So he gets entered in this contest. He's going to be in it, but he doesn't know if he wants to do it. They have one more game. If they win that game, then they can go to the championship game or the finals or whatever. They do win the game, so he's got a choice because the game and the competition is on the same day. So to appease his dad and his teammates, he goes to the game. But clearly his head's not into it. He does go to the cook-off area to look around, but doesn't stay, right? So there's something that is conflicting here. Because at first, you feel like they're trying to set something up here. He comes late to a baseball game. They're in the third inning. And there's 7 innings of baseball, whatever. He missed 3 innings or something. I don't know. And they won't put him in because he's late. And so that's when he decides to, gung ho it and go straight for the baseball. So he leaves the baseball game championship because his friends tell him to go to get, which the coach is still not on board with. But the mom drives him there, and he's only got an hour left of this cooking competition, and they allow him to cook. You think there would be a parallel there, but no, he's allowed to keep doing it. And even Bridget calls it out. She's like, "Oh, you gotta be kidding me!" Again, she doesn't have her accent, so it comes out very New Zealand. "Oh, you gotta be kidding me!" I don't know how New Zealand accent, but now that's not fair. Whatever. Fair? It's not fair. Fair? Maybe she. Well, no, she does the fairer because they have to harden their R's because broom. Sometimes when they do their R's on the wrong side of the room because they have to be room, but room because they have to pronounce it so it sounds more English, but this sounds more alien to me. But yeah, so throughout this film, there's been one character, Rose McIver's character, who has been hiding from her mom that she plays baseball. She says she's a cheerleader. There's no cheerleaders in baseball, but the mom, Hannah's mom shows up and reveals that she found her batting glove in her pants when she was doing laundry. And she accepts what her daughter wants to be, and that clues in Eddie's dad to help Eddie, so he yells at the umpire and gets kicked out of the game, which I'm sure can't actually happen. I'm sure an umpire can't kick the coach out of a game. If that's what can really happen in a baseball game, did you playing baseball wrong? What the hell's wrong with you? I know they have James Ganlon is an assistant coach, but come on, man. There's no way an umpire can kick a coach out. But he does, so he goes to help Eddie. There's also a running gag where Eddie tries to crack an egg with one hand, which is not that hard to do if you really know what you're doing. I've done that. You do risk getting more eggshells in with your stuff. What you gotta do, you hit it on a flat surface, not an edge. You hit it on a flat surface, and you crack it. You don't try to crack it on the bowl. You hit a flat surface, then you do it with one hand and crack it open into the bowl. Don't try to do it on the bowl because that's how more eggshells get in. You hit it on a flat surface first to get it perforated, and you crack it with your hands into the bowl or pan or whatever you're gonna do. My mom taught me that. Never on an edge. That's how you get more eggshells in the stuff. You do it on a flat surface. So, yes, I know cooking, okay? Call me Scadalina or something, okay? I was raised by women. My mom showed me how to cook. I like watching my mom cook, okay? Cooking is not girly. So Eddie doesn't win. Bridget does. But she's treated like the least, like it doesn't matter, too. Because the team shows up, they won their baseball game without Eddie, which again, I don't believe. Like, they say constantly throughout the film that Eddie's the only one that's good at baseball, and yet he's gone, so now they win on their own, and I don't know. It's hard to believe. Eddie doesn't win, because... I never really know why he didn't win. I mean, because he only had an hour to cook the stuff, but still. It wasn't about that. It was about being accepted, and so now he has been. And everyone celebrating with Eddie, even though he lost. And Bridget, they walk off. Maybe there's something between them. Like, there's no real love interest here. You'd think Hannah, but not really. So, yeah, that's Eddie's $1 million cook-off. Oh, by the way, I missed the whole part where after he makes the peanut butter smoothie, it doesn't work. So he makes this, after they have the first or second food fight, I forget, they make this concoction in a bowl, I think it's the first one, that ends up being this stuff that tastes like barbecue sauce, and he remakes it in his kitchen. And... then brings it to the baseball game, and one of the teammates just grabs it and starts eating it. Like, dude, you can't just see something sitting there and just start eating it. One, it's not yours, so ask please. Two, you don't know if that's even edible. What if it's like a paste? Just no. And then he finds out that he has to, and this is what I don't like about why I will never be able to do cooking shows. You have to measure everything. This amount goes in, and that 2 cups of this, a cup of that, a tablespoon of this, teaspoon of that. I'd never be able to do that. I'm much more comfortable with just throwing things together. I can follow a recipe if need be, like on a box of mac and cheese, or if I'm making like some kind of dish that uses the instructions. I can follow instructions. I myself would never be able to measure out what I need to do the recipe. And I think it's absolutely stupid that he would have to... This is supposed to be your original recipe? How the hell are you supposed to know how much you gotta put in? I mean, it's trial and error, but come on, when you're in the heat of the moment doing something, you don't pay attention to what you did. That's why a lot of shows and movies where they make a recipe, they forget it, because it's not about how much you put in, it's in the moment what you put in. You figure out the semantics later, but if you pay attention, you can figure out what you did. It's like the episode of Kenan and Kel where they make the cold recipe, right? They make the cold recipe that works on Kel, but when they try to give it to Roger, Kel ate it all. So they make another batch, but they do it wrong, and it becomes a sleepy portion somehow, because they didn't write down the ingredients. But in a heated moment like that, when he's just trying to get Kel to feel better, you know, he's not paying attention. It wasn't about saving it for something else. You know, you're in a heated moment trying to fix something. You're not worrying about how much you're going to put in because you don't think you're going to come back to it. And if you do, then you really got to think about what you did. But that comes later. Anyway, I'm giving today's $1 Million Cook-Off a very high middle of the road. This went down for me, okay? All the negativity towards cooking, God, whoever wrote this should be shot, unshot, given a big bag of money and shot again, or whatever the Star Trek critic said. But yeah, so what are your thoughts on today's $1 Million Cook-Off? I'm calling slow. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.